to get to your main pulley, you're gonna have to pull off the fixed nose. You want to put your hand behind it. There's going to be a nut on these two bottom ones. You just don't want to drop the nut onto the ground and lose it. Pull that off, and then you got 4 more. Now when you go to loosen the last one, you want to grab a hold of the bottom of the plate, because it's going to come right off. And just set the plate up out of the way. Now you got to get off this the small plate. This is a 3/32, and break those loose. You're going to want to make sure that your Allen wrench is set all the way in there so you don't round it out. And once you get them all broke loose, you can just take them off. I keep pressure on it so it doesn't fall and clang around. And just set that off to the side. And that exposes the bottom of the motor pulley and then the main drive pulley. Now if you're slipping or if it's making noise, you're going to want to disconnect the belt. There's a little bolt right on top of the motor. If I can, I believe it's a 964. It'll be silver. Get your Allen in there, loosen that up. Usually give it 2 good turns. Sometimes a little more. You want this to be able to move freely. You want to collapse it all the way in so that you got slack in your belt. You just slide the belt off. And that slides off like that. And once you get that, you want to make sure that it doesn't have any sharp edges or anything like that. And you're going to want to grab a 3mm Allen wrench and a pair of Channellocks, because that pulley will move. So what you do, just hold that. You have a tighten side and a loosen side. You're going to want to pull the set screw out of the tighten side, so reverse it out. Once you get it broke loose, you don't really need your Channellocks to hold that pulley until you get to where you're tightening it in the other way. So you back this little set screw out, and then you're going to want to move it over to the loosen side. And you just thread it in, and once it gets so tight, you're going to need to use your Channellocks again. I usually try and put it up towards the top wherever I'm tightening. Then you just want to drive that set screw in. You're going to feel a lot of resistance. You're just going to keep going until it gets loose. Once it feels loose as you're driving it in, this will just slide right out. Get it slid out. First thing I always do is take it out of the loosen side and put it back into the tighten side. That way you don't have to fumble with it later. Grab a hold of it, put it back in to the tighten side, and they are labeled. It'll say tighten and loosen. Basically, you set it up about like that. Grab a hold of that, make sure it's all the way down so it's closest to you. And then you take your finger and you can put it up onto the screw to hold it, so when you push this back on, you can help use the carriage to hold it all the way in there too. You're going to want to push that all the way up, because as you tighten it, it's going to draw it back down. So just tighten it up a little bit. Once you get to a certain point, you're going to have to use your channel locks again. Don't pull on it outwards because you want it to stay resting up top. And just tighten it until you cannot tighten it anymore. You want this as tight as possible. So when you can't tighten it anymore, it's tight. By that time, it'll give you just enough slack so that it's not touching on the top too. And then you just do all your steps in reverse, putting the belt back on. Make sure it all lines up. Then you're going to want to take, there's a nut on the back side. Just use it as a pry bar against the base of the motor with your 9/64. Basically, you want to go halfway. To split that bolt in between the slot halfway is about the perfect tension. Once you get a little bit of pressure on there, you can let that go. Just give her a good snug up. And take your belt and press on it. You just want a little bit of flex in there, and then it'll run perfect for you.